Oh, well, what do you think of that? Bet you want one now, hey? Well, we are just now closing in on the climactic final hour of the final day of the Xbox at Gamescom 2020 broadcast. And guys, there's no time to dally. After years lost in the fog, the Silent Hill series is back with a bold new direction. And joining me now to give us just a glimpse into the newest title coming September 25th, Silent Hill F, please welcome Silent Hill series producer at Konami, Motoi Okamoto, and game director at Neobards Entertainment, Al Yang. And interpreting for us today is Daiki Yamamoto, also from Konami Digital Entertainment. Thank you so much all for joining me, guys. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Okamoto-san, can you please just give us a quick introduction to Silent Hill F and why this new entry in particular is so special?
はい、サイレントヒル F は日本で初めて舞台になるというところと、高名な竜騎士07さんがシナリオを書くというところが特徴になります。また、ホラーとアクションが融合したゲームプレイを体験できるのが特徴です。
So, what makes Silent Hill F stand out is that this is the first ever game to take place in Japan. And we also have enlisted the help of Ryukishi07 as the scriptwriter for the game. Another important aspect is that the gameplay centers around a fusion of both horror and action.
That's amazing. I mean, Mr. Yang, what does that unique setting really bring for the horror of the game?
So something that Silent Hill series has always been about is that kind of feeling of tension and unfamiliarity. So with Silent Hill F, setting in Japan, and actually in Showa-era Japan in 1960s, gives us kind of two main points. The first one is, and I like to always use this phrase, which is it's foreign yet familiar. So using the school as an example, everyone culturally knows what a school is, but you might not know what a school in 1960s rural Japan might be. On top of the time period, which is the 1960s, where you might have seen like a rotary phone before or like an old style car, but you've never actually maybe experienced that before in real life. So it adds that kind of extra layer of unfamiliarity, so it feels a little bit foreign, yet familiar to the players.
That's so true, yeah. Anytime there's a sort of retro element, it somewhat feels a bit creepier to me, at least, instantly, so I really appreciate that. Okamoto-san, the new trailer, that debuted at Opening Night Live, and we did get to hear the English voice of the protagonist, Hinako. Can you tell who is playing her, and why is this casting so important?
はい、スージー・ヤンさんという方がひなこ役を演じています。スージーさんは有名な日本のゲームやアニメなどで声優を務めています。本作は女性が抑圧されている状況でおいて、その抑圧に抗う女性を描いているんですけれども、その過酷な役を華麗に演じてくださっています。
So, Hinako in this game is voiced by Suzy Young, who is a very renowned actor who does many prominent voices in Japanese games and works. So, Hinako has to fight oppression, female oppression that she faces in the game, and we felt that Suzy was a great match.
Amazing, that's beautiful. And also, Okamoto-san, fans are really curious after seeing that trailer, so I'm going to ask some really important questions for them. First off, who is that mysterious guy wearing the fox mask? How does the Silent Hill F story connect to the rest of the Silent Hill universe? And also, what does Ryukishi07 bring as a narrative writer to the franchise?
はい、狐面の男はですね、非常に重要なキャラクターで、ひなこの人生であったり物語の根幹に関わっています。ただネタバレになるので詳しくは言えないんですけど、ストーリーの根幹に関わっているキャラクターであるのは間違いありません。また龍吉さんはサイレントヒルの従来のユニバースの上に今回の日本の設定を作られているので、シリーズのファンの方にはニヤッとするようなイースターエッグ的な要素が込められています。
So the man in the fox mask is a very important person to both the plot and to Hinako's life in general. But we won't delve into too many details because we don't want to spoil everything for you.
Yep.
But also, Ryukishi07's involvement has placed the Japanese setting in the overall Silent Hill universe. So there are some nods and a couple of Easter eggs that the most intuitive players can find and enjoy for themselves.
Amazing. So something there for you guys to check out then. Okamoto-san, let's talk a bit about the gameplay, because that's a very important part of a horror game. You do have a new weapon to reveal that has a really big impact on the action, so what's that all about?
本作はソウルライクゲームじゃないかって言われてるんですけれども、ソウルライクゲームではありません。ホラーとアクションが融合した新しいゲームプレイを体験できます。でまた従来のサイレントヒルシリーズを楽しんできたファンの方向けにはストーリーモードという難易度設定を用意していますので、その設定で遊んでいただくと従来のサイレントヒルに近い体験で楽しめると思います。
So one thing we would like to make clear is that we've been hearing the term Souls-like getting thrown around, but this game is not a Souls-like.
Good to know.
Yes, and it's a fundamentally a horror-based, action-based gameplay experience that you can find. And for any long-time fans who have some concerns, there is the story mode difficulty which will replicate the authentic Silent Hill experience.
Very cool. Yeah, amazing. Al, let's talk about the monsters in Silent Hill, because they've just been striking fear into us for decades. They are some of the most iconic characters to appear in all of horror as well. And I'm hearing that Silent Hill F is not going to be any exception. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of those ghastly creatures that we can look forward to, or maybe not look forward to?
Gotcha. So first off, I want to give a big thank you to our creature designer, Kara-san. She did a really good job taking kind of the themes that Rikishi-san basically wrote out, and then marrying that with a very, very distinctive art style, and then really putting that beauty and terror into the game. But in traditional Silent Hill fashion, as you know, that each monster in Silent Hill represents personal turmoil for the main character, and then in the case of Silent Hill F for Hinako, that's basically the same right there. So it's very interesting that we're seeing fans are already kind of talking about, oh, based on the name of this monster, or based on what they look like, what does this represent for Hinako in her story? The second point I want to talk to is that for us, when we're designing monsters, each one is its own kind of puzzle, a combat puzzle, if you will. So we spend a lot of time making sure that the combat and the movement and the actions that these monsters could do matched very carefully with the lore and the meaning behind each of these monsters.
That's so clever. It is really true to the fact that there is a personal journey that goes along with the horrors that you are seeing as well. It just makes for even more player satisfaction for me as well when I'm playing these types of games. Okamoto-san, the Silent Hill games, they are also very famous, not just for the monsters, but also for the sights and the sounds that we are also experiencing. So can Silent Hill F also give us that same classic Silent Hill experience?
はい、山岡明さんというですね、シリーズを代表する音楽家の方が今回も音楽を作ってくださってますので、シリーズの本質的な音楽を楽しむことができます。また稲毛健介さんという方が日本の楽器を使ったガークというですね、日本古来の音楽を作っているので、ユーザーの方は日本の古来の音楽を楽しむことができます。
So, of course, the renowned Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka will be returning, and he will be providing some music for this game. But it's not just him. But so of course, he will be providing the fundamental, the classic Silent Hill audio experience. But we will also be having Mr. Kensuke Inage, who will be providing some more Japanese-themed music in the form of gagaku, which is a more classical type of Japanese music that interweaves like native instruments and more classic elements. So you can expect a very diverse musical experience.
That's incredible. I'm very excited for that sort of melding of a very authentic representation, but mixed with the classic Silent Hill that we all love. So it's all really exciting. Thank you so much, guys. Is there any last thoughts that you'd like to share with the audience before we check out our next segment?
最後にもし一言ファンに向けて何かありましたらお願いいたします。
非常にですね、自信を持って送り出すシリーズですので、ぜひ楽しんでいただければと思います。コンバットに関していろいろご意見いただいておりますが、ストーリーモードで遊んでいただければ従来のサイレントヒルに近い体験で楽しめますので、よろしくお願いします。
Okay. So we would like to say that we are going to deliver this game with the utmost confidence, and so we sincerely hope that all the fans get to enjoy the game. Of course, to any people who have some concerns about what the gameplay experience will be like, again, story mode will be providing the most authentic and quintessential Silent Hill experience. So please give it a try.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, Okamoto-san. Thank you so much, Mr. Yang, and of course, thank you as well, Yamamoto-san. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for these insights. Silent Hill F, shaping up to be an unsettling rebirth for the series. By the way, it's available to pre-order now, and it's launching September 25th. I just cannot wait to experience the horror for myself. Now, some fresh gameplay from a game about a sentient rail-grinding school bus. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound as scary as monsters, but you try saying that when one's bearing down at you at 65 miles an hour. And then more on Valor Mortis when the Xbox at Gamescom 2025 broadcast continues.